So how many of you
Uh,
guys are here?
Bunch of us actually. We got Jordan who played Thanos, Haley who played Petra, and then Corinne was our stage manager, and then Annie was our props master.
Oh,
And
fantastic.
she made Cap Shield like from scratch, which was awesome.
Oh, that's
So
really cool. That's cool.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you guys did all of this through Zoom? What
Yes.
happened?
What happened? COVID happened. Um, so it was originally supposed to be done on stage, and we had been like planning to get this started from like the beginning of that school year because we all went to school at the same place, UC Davis. Um, and we had had our first like rehearsal being like a read through at like the end of March, just as like COVID was starting to happen, and then COVID happened, things locked down, and we kind of came to a choice of like, do we like cancel it? Do we like push it off until COVID ends? Which at that point we didn't know if it was going to be a couple of weeks, couple of months, or where we're at now, or if we should do it, over Zoom and just figure it out. And that's kind of what we ended up deciding to do and deciding to just make it work as best as we could. Because the cast was already assembled, the like crew was already there. It just felt like it would have been too much work to like everything was already in motion. I didn't want to like stop it. And it also ended up being a good thing for us to have during those early days of the pandemic to like keep us together, keep us happy, I think. So I don't
That's
know.
good. That's good.
Yeah.
Um, Getting into each character, like, did you guys have a hard time timing each other when it came down to the lines?
Not not really, no. I mean, I don't know if Jordan or Haley want to like speak on that at all, but like the way we filmed it, we filmed our own screens individually, was how we filmed it. So and then it was just like recording like back and forth. Like we were still able to interact with each other. Like we still heard the lines like back and forth. Like it was still kind of,
Okay, it's not just the
yeah.
lines, it's when you guys are singing and harmonizing. How did you do that? How?
Yeah, that was an experience. Nate, who actually played Cap, he was the musical director and he wrote all the music and did an awesome job with that. And what we did was we had each person sing their part individually, and then through editing, I was able to like line everything up. But it was weird because like when we watched it, like they didn't, no one had heard like the harmony or like any of it like come together until like none of us like knew how it was like technically supposed to sound just because we never like heard the harmony together, heard that come together. And then, I remember when I was watching like the first scene and like it came to that like final harmony, like that final opening, I was like looking at all my friends' faces and they were like, this is like so much harmony and like amazing. So, it was definitely like a bit of a struggle figuring that out. But we made it work. So
All right,
yeah.
all right.
Probably worth
So,
noting too, we did try. We tried to have everybody sing at once, and Zoom will not allow that to happen. More than three people at once, it cuts everything out. But
that's exactly
there's an
what I considered.
attempt, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
I'm
like,
sure there's a recording somewhere of
oh,
it,
there
like
it
of
is.
us very messily trying to sing and it not going well over Zoom.
Okay. Um, when it came down to you guys, I guess, setting up the storyline and trying to actually make each scene go, I guess, toe to toe together, because obviously a lot of characters came in and out of this. um, like, how long did you guys actually take in building that together? I mean, like, I'm sure the cutting room must have been like amazingly easy during COVID, but
Yeah, yeah. It so in regards to like creating everything, it was probably like a year of like just coming up with a bunch of ideas and then like half a year of like writing scripts and doing all that stuff. And then like once it got to like Zoom and like rehearsing everything, it was a month of rehearsal and then 2 weeks of recording everything. Um, so sorry, what was your question again? I'm like tangenting off, I think.
okay, I guess the easiest way to put it is, how long did it take you to finish this?
Okay. Yeah, so it was like a month of rehearsal, 2 weeks of recording, and then it was from that point, it was like I think 9 months of like editing it all together. Um, So, from idea to finishing act one was probably a little like 3.5 years ish, but like from editing, it was like 9 months. And that was a long, arduous process of figuring out like how to make a Zoom film look good, or as good as possible.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Um, the costume department. I was just what made you guys decide? I was this how each character would look? Because I get it. You can't just build an entire armor for Iron Man here. But
Yeah.
why didn't Hawkeye have anything? What happened?
I mean, I don't know if like Quinn or Annie, if you guys want to touch on that at all, but like basically it was COVID and we had like a month to figure it out. And, we had a minimal budget as it was. So we just kind of, had stuff from our houses that we tried to make work. And some people had more opportunities than others. Our costume designer sadly wasn't able to make it today. But she had a lot of, she had like these like great designs where it was like, just like grab as much as you can and like try and make it work. And, some people were able to like get more things than others. So,
Okay.
Nobody asked for Iron Man's suit, but I am up for the challenge.
Oh. Here we go.
Yeah.
Love
it.
I love the fact that you guys actually turned Bruce Banner into a girl.
Yeah.
Did anyone have to work out?
Did anyone have to work out?
No.
No.
Didn't.
No. Sir, how you do?
No workouts. It was just kind of, that was something that like was actually one of my first ideas was like, one of the themes of the show is, the idea of like what a hero is. And, I feel like girls can be heroes too. And like, it was a very easy thing to just like have representation by just flipping the gender. And I didn't want to make like Spider-Gwen or anything like that, like instead of like Petra Parker, because I wanted Peter Parker. I wanted this character that we knew, but like, I have these amazing actresses, and like, why not just have them be girls? I don't know.
Exactly.
It's just representation.
Plus, it was fantastic for the chorus. So,
yeah, exactly, for harmonies and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. Question for Haley. Oh, is this in getting into character? Like, how was it in trying to actually interact with people without interacting with people? I guess.
It was honestly, I had a really good time doing it, even though it was a very different format. But I was kind of at a point.
My apologies.
I was at a point, and I think many of us were, where it was like any interaction I can get is good. So I think it was a really good time, and I think that naturally I have kind of an anxious energy. Ben will probably back that up. So I think that it was a lot of just like thinking about sort of like what I thought Petra was going through in each scene, which I'm sure like everyone else was doing too, but like just being able to like think through like what specific emotions were going on and like how she would see the people around her, because I think Petra specifically is very like, oh my god, like these are the Avengers, like this is so cool, which is kind of like what I would think if I was like suddenly a superhero. So I think it was sort of an interesting experience for me, because I was kind of thinking about not only how she would react to it, but how I would react to it, and often it was the same.
Okay. You didn't trip in any of your jumps. I noticed you were like everywhere. So.
I did.
Oh, okay. You could have gotten away with it.
I did pop out my knee a little bit, rolling on the ground. I was fine. I just got too excited. Yeah, no stunts for me anymore.
Oh, but they play so well.
It came out well.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I guess I gotta ask, like, how did you maintain your hair, Ben. Like in every scene, your hair was always like the way it was. Like I've grown my hair before. I know that's not easy.
Honestly, I just it was just kind of how I wear it like day to day. I occasionally I'd put like a little bit of product in it, but like usually it was just what it was, and I just kind of like was like, okay, I guess this is how it's gonna be. It's interesting hearing you say that, because like I was watching it at some points and I was like, oh, this looks different, because there were even some points where I like reshot it like a couple months later and I was like, oh, my hair looks a little longer than it did like in the other scenes. But I wore it how I wore it, and somehow didn't get in my face too much. So
Okay, so you're just naturally born fabulous. I get it.
What can I say?
There you go. All right. Jordan, sir.
Hi.
How was this?
Hello.
How was it?
I actually
playing?
sound like this. I don't sound like that at all. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm not staring. I'm not intimidated. No, not at all. So how was it? How was this playing your role?
It was interesting. Because I remember reading through initially and seeing that Thanos was like more of the dramatic role in the show, and I'm not much of a dramatic actor. So I was like, I guess I'll try my best. And I made a conscious decision at the beginning, like, okay, I know a lot of the other characters are a little more comedic and they can kind of laugh between takes and have fun. So I told myself, okay, I got to really work at this because I want to do a good job. So I'm just going to be really serious. I'm not going to like joke around. I'm just going to, do my part. And what I did, because I didn't tell anybody, especially Ben. I didn't tell Ben. I should have, because apparently I looked like I wasn't having any fun when we were filming this. Because when we finished, I just sit there, just trying to stay like angry and serious, and I just looked really mad the whole time. But I had a lot of fun. It was so fun doing this, except the scene with the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That wasn't my favorite, because I realized when we were filming it, like, okay, if I have jars that aren't full, it's gonna look weird if I pull out like half-used jars. So I told Ben, like, we have like 1 or 2 tries to get this. So we rehearsed it a few times. I did it once, and I actually physically spread everything, and it just took too long. So I said, I really just have to dump these things on the bread. So I like loaded the peanut butter, and then I like loosened all the jelly, and I just dumped it on there, and I made the sandwich. It was so gross because it was so sweet and sticky. It was disgusting, but I had to look like it was so delicious. And terrible.
Oh my god.
But the rest was fun. I had a good time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I've heard terrible stories about guys doing commercials when they were kids. Keanu Reeves, I think, had one of like the worst experiences because he had to actually eat like 2-day-old food and make it look so delicious.
Oof.
So
I guess I got lucky that PB&J is not bad.
Yeah, well, it could have been worse. It could have been mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You're
like
welcome for
that.
not making have a mayonnaise sandwich.
No, I would have walked. I would have walked.
Take notes.
Yeah.
Take notes, man.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right. Corinne, what was your role in this?
So I was when we initially did this, I was brought in as the stage manager, but you don't really stage manage in a film. But I was still acting as a weird hybrid between stage managing and I don't know what other role that would be in the film world. I don't do film, I do theater. So yeah, it was mainly just organizing everything and doing whatever Ben needed me to do to take some of the strain off of him playing like 5 different roles in this adventure. So
what was the toughest job you actually had to do the entire time? Like, was there a day that was just terribly wrong, or?
I mean, not necessarily terribly wrong, but there were a few times that got really hectic when we were rehearsing music, we put people into breakout rooms. And generally, if I had like an ASM or something like I would in theater, you have somebody there in case they need something. So I ended up having 2 laptops, my iPad and my phone going so I could be in every single breakout room and in the main rehearsal so I could communicate things back and forth. So, I mean, it wasn't hard. it was just,
Okay.
it just gets chaotic. So yeah, it was overall really great and nothing went horribly wrong. So just a lot of trying to figure out weird problems, mainly because of Zoom.
That's that sounds like video game production. Have you ever seen those?
No.
Okay, I've been on a mocap stage once, and they always have two directors. One is an acting director, for the cast, and then there's a technical director. What you sound like you just did was a technical director's job, because literally he would just be on an iPad and make sure that everybody is like, in their suits are doing okay, and they have their lines, appropriate on the stage, and if we're missing a grunt, if we are missing a hit or someone actually palpitating, through their nose or something, the technical manager would actually take care of those things. And they would be like the ones that would try to act cool, but they are like panicking, like, going 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, that's literally like the only acting you will ever see me do is acting like everything is fine. Pretty much. So
Perfect. I can trust that.
yeah.
All right. Annie, what was the most difficult part of your job?
Not getting to do it on a stage because I had way too many ideas.
Oh,
I wish we could have done it on stage. So I was so excited. But I love the MCU. It's been I've followed it since probably the original Iron Man. So getting asked to do the actual props, the most iconic props, I think, in like film industry, was a big deal.
Oh, that's wonderful. I mean, like, what's your dream prop to actually make?
I think it would have been the shield. That was probably it. Because it was just so much. That was the most fun, most pain in the ass thing I've ever done in my life. It took 2.5 weeks to get that one done.
Really? What was the process?
The entire thing was handmade. I started with one of those super old-fashioned steel sleds and cut it to size, and took raw fiberglass sheets and did 5 layers of fiberglass, cut the leather arm straps inside. I repainted it 3 or 4 times because I just couldn't get those lines perfect, and didn't matter, but too bad it mattered to me. But it took probably a total of about 2.5 weeks to get it perfect the way I wanted it.
Oh, wow. So you did a little bit of white smithing then. Did you have to?
No,
Oh, okay.
That's fine.
Okay. Your hands are okay.
Yeah, we're good. No, it was awesome.
Okay. Well, that we're already at 3 p.m. So, I guess I have to ask one last question. If you had to actually explain to an aspiring filmmaker now, like, what words of encouragement would you actually give them? And I'm asking all of you.
I think there's a couple things that I personally would say. One, trust in yourself and believe in yourself. Because I think if I hadn't, like, from the beginning believed that I was going to make this happen, then it wouldn't have happened. Like, it was that almost stubborn, like, self-belief that, like, I'm going to make this happen and it's going to come to life, that, like, helped make it come to life. But also, on the flip side, you need the people around you to help you make things. And, like, these wonderful people who are here with me now, and, like, everyone else in the cast and crew, and, like, who supported me and supported everyone in making this project, it would not have been nearly as good without any of them, and without all of them. So, your friends are like your best allies. So appreciate them. Yeah, just do it, I guess.
Yeah, I would say don't be afraid to make something that doesn't work out. Because I was actually a film major at UC Davis, and yeah, make the thing, whether it works out or not. And if it doesn't, then you learn from it, and then you use that experience to do something else. So yeah, don't be afraid. Nothing has to be perfect the first time. Try at it. Just learn, keep growing.
Yeah,
going off.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I was going to quickly say, going off of that, an imperfect project that exists is better than a perfect project that only exists in your mind. So Yeah. Anyway, Haley, you go.
No, I was just gonna say that, like, kind of along the lines of what Jordan said, but like, don't be afraid to try like weird stuff to achieve a goal. Not like, because some of the like ways that we filmed were so strange, or like balancing like your computer on like 17 boxes, like I don't, or just like different things we did to achieve a really good outcome, that I was like, this is, or like I read a scene and there was one scene where I didn't understand what Ben was saying at all, and he's like, just like trust that the editing is gonna work out and you'll like it. And I was like, I don't know what you're saying, but like I'll do it. And then I was like, oh, that's what you meant, and it did work out in the end. So yeah.
Beautiful. So, ladies?
I would just say expect everything to go wrong, to go horribly wrong. You just got to roll with it and figure out a way to make it work. So
I just say take risks, do whatever you feel like is right. If it's wrong, it's wrong, and you try again.
Wonderful. Well, with that, with those words of wisdom, I thank you guys for actually making it to FanFilm Awards. Your film was a delight, and I hope to see you guys at the award ceremony.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And thank you for accepting a Marvelous Parody into it. It means a lot. So,
of course.